And I actually brought the 45 goals of the Communist Party with me. I left them in my bag over there. But in the 45 goals, are you familiar with the 45
No.
goals? Okay, so there was a gentleman, remind me to get back to SAG, the union for the actors, yeah. So in the 1950s, there was a gentleman named W. Cleon Skousen, and he worked in the FBI. And he started seeing the communist infiltration in the 1950s. And because it started very early on, late 1800s. So he sees it with his own eyes.
And those communists were from Russia, USSR?
I don't know the details about where they all were from, because I know there were also Nazis coming in too, Nazis are basically fascists, right?
Yes.
And they're not technically communists, but
if it's a horseshoe with the far left and far right meeting at the center, it's almost the same thing.
That's exactly right. Exactly, I agree with you. Their tactics are the same, right? The results are the same.
Tyranny
Death.
and tyranny.
Yep, and death and yeah, it's exactly. So I know they came in from both. So we've been infiltrated through KGB and through Nazis who, quite frankly, weren't hung, right? They got away free. So we end up with these evil people, and then think about it. We thought we brought down the mafia, but we didn't. They just went somewhere, right? They just scattered. Where did all these people go? Into the unions. Okay, so the unions, and they wanted to control the actors because, like you said before, people all over the world are impacted by Hollywood. So they got into Hollywood very early on. But this man, W. Cleon Skousen, he left the FBI because he wanted to write a book to expose this. His book is called The Naked Communist. It's still a bestseller. I highly recommend it. And it's an easy read. It helps you to understand Marx and Engels, who are behind this whole Marxist evil agenda that leads to communism. And so in his book, he listed the 45 goals of the Communist Party to destroy our constitutional republic of America. Those 45 goals, I'm happy to send them to you so you can post them for your audience. I have them on one page, easy read. Once you read those goals, you start to understand what we're going through right now. Goal number 17, get control of the schools. Use them as transmission belts for socialism and current communist propaganda. Soften the curriculum. Put the party line in textbooks. Get control of the teacher associations. Okay, so they've done that. Check. They have accomplished it. One of their goals was get control of the media, book review, blah, blah. They've gotten that done. One of the goals was...
ban the religion.
Oh, yeah. Yes. And use pornography to, I forget exactly how it's worded, but, using pornography literally to destroy families. One of the goals says, how is it worded? Something about, getting kids away from their parents, the dangerous influence of parents. Okay, so these communists want to destroy family because family is the foundation of any, culture. It's the very foundation, God and family, God's design, right? Family. So they have to destroy family so that the tyrants can rule. So earlier I said you have to be well-educated and moral. So if you can make the people stupid, or at least manipulated to believe all your lies, and then you can make them immoral, let the tyrants rule at the schools, nobody has any discipline. We didn't even get into the conversation of the sexualization of the kids. The unions pushed that too, sexualizing them, destroy their very identity. God said, I made them male and female. Okay, even if you don't believe in God, it's obvious that we're male and female. All you got to do is stand naked and you know if you're male or female, okay? Simple. DNA proves it. Okay, we have all the evidence we need that
the
there
chromosomes.
are two genders. Yes, there are two genders. So now what do? The so-called teacher unions are the ones who came up with this whole thing that there's an unlimited number of genders, an unlimited spectrum, they call it. And there's all sorts of evidence. All people have to do, go on the California Teacher Association website and look at the archives of their magazines. They talk about it, been talking about it for years. The so-called teacher unions and the PTA, Parent Teacher Association, were behind, in October 2013, they were behind the passage of the first ever law in this nation to allow boys to dominate girls' sports, girls' locker rooms, and girls' bathrooms. The PTA did that. And the so-called teacher unions. And parents paying the PTA dues and teachers paying their union dues paid for it. And they don't know. So I don't know anybody I don't know anybody, no matter their politics, that agrees with boys beating up on girls in sports or going into girls' locker rooms. Nobody's for that. Only communists are for that. So this is what they.
I don't agree with you. There wasn't a thing in Soviet Russia. Boys,
they didn't even do it there?
No, they did. Of course not. You kidding?
See, we're worse. We're worse than Soviet Russia.
Nowadays, communists are way perverse than the communist Russia. There wasn't a thing like that. They were anti-gay. Yeah, they were anti-religion, anti-gay, anti-trans, anti-boys in the girls' locker room or boys in the girls' sports.
Wow.
Nothing like that. No.
So don't you think, based on their history, don't you think they're using people, the whole useful idiot idea again, they're using people, okay, we're going to make gay a thing, we're going to make transgender a thing, we're going to make this all accepted, because once they take over, those are the people they're going to kill first? Because they hate those people, right? Or do you think this is a different breed?
I think it's just communism 3.0, and
wow.
That's just weakening physically and mentally men, because men are willing to stand up for their families.
Exactly.
I will kill for my family.
That's exactly.
But if I'm weak, if I have more estrogen than testosterone, and if I doubt what's my gender, I was like, should I?
100%.
Who am I? What am I?
100%. I got a tickle, sorry. You are so right. So right. They want to emasculate our men. And it starts in the elementary school. And I'm not going to make any friends saying this, but it's the truth. And I speak truth. They are medicating our little boys. They're saying, he's ADHD. No, he's not. I don't believe in ADHD. What is he? He's a little boy that God made.
He's active.
Yes. He's a little boy that God made with energy, like my son, the Tasmanian devil. He's a little boy who needs that energy because he's going to grow up into a strong man who needs to defend his family, who needs to work hard. My son works 12-hour days. He works hard. Right?
And he's happy.
He's happy.
He's got a purpose.
He loves it.
Yes,
he
males have to have purpose.
Yes, and he's strong. And his girlfriend says, I feel safe around him. That's how men are supposed to be, right? But our culture, the unions and the wicked people that are trying to destroy us, they have convinced us that our little boys are deficit and disorder. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, your boy has a deficit because he can't sit still all day. He wasn't made to sit still all day and be bored by your stupid lecture that's not teaching him anything decent because you've removed Western Civ and you've removed the classics and you've removed the courage. You've removed everything he wants to learn, right? And dumbed it all down. He's bored out of his mind. So we're going to put him on speed. That medication is speed. So now they're putting these little boys on speed because they won't act like little girls. That is from the pits of hell. I'll say it. And I don't care how many grandmas are mad at me. I'll tell you who cheers for me. Men. Because they're sick and tired of boys being emasculated.
Of course.
And all these women buy into it. Oh, yeah, my son, he's wearing me out. He's supposed to wear you out, lady. Discipline him. He just needs some discipline. And go let him run around a while. Don't lock him up in the house all day. So it's heartbreaking to me. Heartbreaking the way we're treating our boys. And you're right, it's to emasculate them. We're in all the trouble we're in because of so-called unions, government unions, and the friends they run around with. And I'm offended by that. And they're destroying my country. They've totally damaged and destroyed my profession. They're destroying the children. They're destroying families. And I think it's about time we all stand up and say, you're not going to do that anymore. I'm a 5'4" woman. I mean, if I'm in the fight, come on, everybody needs to join. I'm a grandma, and I'm in the fight. So we need some young, strong men to get in this fight. We need women. We need everybody. Nobody can sit on the side. Please, like I said before, just stop playing golf for a couple months, please. It's kind of hot right now anyway. Help us to fight for this country. It is so key. And then we have all these parents who want the government to give them money to take their kid to a private school or whatever. I just want to warn people about that. Whenever the government gets involved, your school gets destroyed. Just look at our universities. I would venture to guess that most people don't realize that our universities, like Harvard and Yale, were started by Christians, and they were started in order to train men in the ministry. Okay, now they're nothing like that. I mean, all you have to do is look at their seals to understand how godly they were, okay, and how effective they were, and how great our country was. Well, what happened? Oh, well, we decided to put federal funding into our universities and give people federal loans and all this stuff. All of a sudden, the price went up crazy.
$100,000
Oh my
minimum.
Gosh. It's unbelievable.
What are those money? In Europe, we have never heard of this money.
Yeah, and
what's the amount? $100,000, $200,000.
It's unbelievable, and they don't teach you anything. They indoctrinate you into communism. They indoctrinate you out of your faith. They indoctrinate you away from your parents. It's unbelievable. And I have seen this with my own eyes over and over. People who worked so hard to put their kids in college, and the college destroyed their kids. Mm-hmm. Destroyed them. So we have to stop thinking that way. We have to get back to what we used to be. Did you know that Americans, we only went through 8th grade in the old days? Through 8th grade, you learned more than a person learns at the university today.
It's so good that you brought this up. In Lithuania, I studied for 12 years. So 12 years, 5 days a week, 6 to 7 hours a day.
Yep.
I should be a genius.
That's right. That's how it is here too. Only most of them are, over 60 million of them are functional illiterates.
Every 7th. Wow.
What a waste of their time.
Yes, just a waste of time.
Yeah.
Repeating the same thing every year.
Exactly. And we go to I was just talking to some friends who used to do a lot of missionary work, and they were serving, I think it was in Egypt. I might have that wrong, but I think it was in Egypt. And they always took their kids on the missionary work. So their kids would go into the school. And the daughter came home and said, "Mother, do you want to know what they're teaching the kids in 2nd grade today?" Because she was from the States, where we weren't teaching them anything. They're teaching them about mitochondria in second grade. I didn't get that till 9th grade. And I also got it served up with a bunch of evolution. And I said to my teacher, "Do you know there's no proof of evolution? That's a theory, not a fact." Theory. Hello. If you teach it as a theory, I'm okay with you. And he fought me. Oh, no, it's a fact. I'm like, how could I trust anything else this man said? He's believing a lie. Anyway, these little kids were learning about mitochondria in 2nd grade. That's what it used to be like in the United States of America. Did you know in the USA, with our little one-room schoolhouses and our home schools and, just these small little microcosms, our kids learned Greek and Latin along with our English language. Greek and Latin. Why? Because Greek and Latin are the roots of the English language. Mm-hmm. So this also is why you can read better if you have phonics and Greek and Latin. Now you approach a new word you've never seen before, and you know its root. And so you can figure out the meaning of the word if you know its root. I mean, why did we stop doing that? It's insanity.